6, 2022 at a regular school board meeting. We'll have the invocation this time by Dr. Dion. Please remain standing. We will also have Leah.
Loving and gracious God, we joyfully thank you for another day to do your will and to serve your magnificent people. Bestow upon us divine discernment, thank you, Tyler, to do what is best for our beloved school district, as well as the ability to lead with courage, confidence, and heart. Further, we ask that you keep all employees, students, and families safe as we plan for a new and prosperous school year in August. Let us always put the needs of the district ahead of our own, as well as give all the praise, honor, and glory to you, O Lord. We humbly ask all this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. Let's have a roll call, please.
Yes, sir, Ms. Guy.
Here.
Ms. Bell.
Here.
Ms. Thomas. Ms. Fertitta.
Here.
Mr. Dooley.
Here.
Dr. Dion.
Here.
Ms. Bourgeois.
Here.
Mr. Dufresne.
Here.
Mr. Schwartz.
Here.
Mr. Blazen.
Here.
Mr. Duplantis.
Here.
Mr. Lafourche.
Here.
Mr. Archer.
Here.
Mr. Bernard.
Here.
Mr. Adams. You have a quorum?
Thank you, sir. All right, one of the good parts about this meeting is the introduction of new administrators that we have in our system. We'll turn that over to Mr. Marks.
Absolutely. So tonight we have the good fortune of welcoming quite a number of folks to new positions. Not new to human resources, and I'm looking for where you're hiding behind me. Not new to human resources, but new to the human resources director position. We have Mr. Robbie Lee.
Mr. Martin, members of the board, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am humbled by this particular position. It's a crucial one for our district, and I will continue to fulfill all that we have done. If you will permit me, I'm going to have to thank the ladies in the HR department. They have been wonderful since I've been working with them. They are tremendous. And a very classy lady, Ms. DeVille, Ms. Renee DeVille, who just retired. I want to say hello to her and thank her for help and tutelage over the past couple of years. Also, I would not be here without my parents, so if you would allow me to thank them publicly. Wonderful people have helped me in tremendous ways. And of course, my wife and my sons. By the time that it does take to do these types of jobs, they have been very supportive of me in that endeavor. So thank you again, I appreciate it.
And we also have new principal, Thibodeau High School, Miss Rebecca Hebert. Ms. Hebert.
Martin and the interview committee and the board for giving me this opportunity to serve as principal. I'm very excited for our new school year and leading our students and teachers.
And new principal, South Lafourche High School, Miss Samantha Lagarde.
Thank you to the board and to the superintendent and the interview committee. I have some pretty big shoes to fill after coming after Ms. Gay Sheremy. However, she's been a great mentor to me for the last month, and I am looking forward to just continuing to grow South Lafourche in every capacity possible.
Go short.
New principal, Lockport Middle School, Dr. Decina Rodriguez.
So this is the third time that I'm at a school board meeting introduced as an administrator in Lockport. So that says a whole lot. It says that I'm a very lucky lady. And number two, it says that I'm deeply dedicated to the students and the community of Lockport. I just give everything to this community because I truly love them. and I really can't wait to see how we're going to grow. My vision is to really just have so much unity between the 3 Lockport schools. This quick little story. My daughter graduated from Central Lafourche with an awesome art teacher, and he told her she could do whatever she wants. So she said, I'm going to paint at your school. I'm going to paint murals. So she painted a lighthouse because we're the pirates, and she's going to paint a ship. And this got wind to Lockport Lower. They called her and said, can you please stick a busy bee in this lighthouse? So of course she said, I'm going to do it. Well, it was a great surprise today. But my point in sharing that story, it's kind of like a hidden Mickey, if you know what that is, a busy bee in there. But my point in sharing that story is that that's what Lockport is. We are so united, and we're going to continue to be that way. And I want the students to recognize that there's a little piece of us in all 3 of our Lockport schools, so they see the recognition. It's an easier transition, and we're all a piece to their puzzle to success. So I'm really happy, and thank you. Have a great night.
And new principal, LaRose Cutoff Middle School, Ms. Celeste Bro.
Thank you all for the opportunity, for being able to support and continue growing LCO Middle School. I've been at LCO my entire career, so as an old friend and colleague, Mr. Kyle Kell would say, once a bulldog, always a bulldog.
And new principal, Lockport Lower Elementary, Miss Amy Engel.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you, school board members. So grateful for this opportunity, and honored and humbled to work and serve in the Lockport community. I did think she was about to say that she was hiring her daughter out to come to Lockport Lower to paint some murals.
Oh, I might have said that.
So we might have to work on that, because that would be awesome. But thank you for this opportunity.
Newly appointed assistant principal, Lockport Lower Elementary, excuse me, this is not, I've got this written wrong. Assistant principal, LaRose Cutoff Middle School, Miss Christy Otan.
I want to thank you all for this opportunity. I am very eager to begin this journey. I'm quite excited to become part again of a Bulldog. My foundation and my career started as a Bulldog, so I'm very excited to come back and help our teachers and our staff and our community grow and make LCO the best it can be. Thank you.
And new assistant principal, 6th Ward Middle School, Miss Danielle Coriel.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to continuing working at 6th Ward with the teachers and the students and growing as a leader in Lafourche Parish.
And new assistant principal, CM Washington Elementary School, Miss Andre Hubble.
Thank you, Mr. Martin, and the interviewing committee and the board for giving me this great opportunity to support Ms. Johnson in growing CM Washington the way we envisioned that. So we're super excited about the school year. We hope for great things this year. Thank you.
Is there a new motion?
That's it. Well, all of you have a tough job ahead of you, and we welcome you into our system and your new administrative roles and responsibilities. So, good luck. Good. With that said, receive a report of the Lafourche Parish Agricultural Extension Service, Ms. Becky Botro of the LSU Ag Center. So,
Hey, you guys can take one in the council.
Okay, my name is Becky Botro. I am one of the FCS nutrition agents at the Ag Center. I was newly appointed to Parish Chair. Ms. Donna Knockin recently retired June 1st after 20 plus years with the Ag Center. And so I kind of took her spot. And we are currently hiring for a new 4-H agent. So if you know anybody who wants to apply, let him come over. We will have a new fisheries agent starting in August, on August 1st. Her name is Haley Gamble, and so we're kind of excited about that. She's going to be multi-parish, just like the last one. And then my coworker and I, who are the nutrition agents, have been working with the libraries throughout the summer and teaching programs there. She's going to jump into the school system and go teach programs there on nutrition and physical activity. We're also painting sidewalks at Raceland Lower across the street from our office, and so we're going to paint the activity walks just to give kids a place to exercise and be physically active for recess when the ground's too wet to go play in the playground. We've done this at BCA, at Healthy Cafe, different places around town. And so if you've seen those painted sidewalks, we have that. The colorful yellow map also in your program is called the Thibodeau Connection. That was a grant I got from the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation. And if you walk outside across the street where all the schools are, it links from Pelche Park. It's a 3-mile loop around here, a 1 mile around downtown, and a 1 mile around Nicholls State University, just to get people active. There's blue feet painted on the sidewalk, so you can wayfind yourself around that, or you can follow that map. There's benches and trash cans, and just to get people more active. So for the teachers and principals in the area, after school you can go get some physical activity in. Next, we're gonna have, we do have, after Mike Gaber retired, we got, his position was so important to the Ag Center, they split it up into 2, because nobody could do Mike's job by themselves, if you know Mike. And so, Randy Lynn Toops covers livestock and forage, and then Renee Castro is now a area sugarcane specialist. And so she'll go next.
Thank you, Becky. I am not a specialist, but thank you for that. I work strictly with the sugarcane farmers in a 7-parish area, and Lafourche is one of my parishes. I provide research to the farmers that we do through the Ag Center. And I just want to invite you guys, we have our, if you want to learn anything at all about sugarcane, we have our field day coming up on Friday, July 15th. We partner with Terrebonne Parish, and this year it's going to be in Terrebonne. We switch years every year, but it's going to be at the USDA research station in Schriever. So please come on and join us if you're available that day. I think the date and time is in the little brochure that you have, but very happy to be here in Lafourche. I've been in this job for about a year now, and it's been a lot of fun working with the sugarcane farmers, so I appreciate your support. And Ms. Teddy will come up and talk to you about 4-H now. Hi, I'm Teddy Falls. I've been happy to speak with you guys as a student and now in my career. I'm one of the 4-H agents. As Ms. Becky said, we are hiring another agent, so if they want to come be my coworker, I would love that. I have a very special job. I get to go into every school that we have in the parish monthly, and we have monthly meetings. We do educational meetings. We have fun. We offer camps throughout the year, and specifically your quarterly report is about the last 3 months. A few things that I just want to touch on, and then I'm going to let these 3 4-Hers that I have talk to you guys, because they're really gaining all the experience from this program. But we have had our annual achievement day. I'm sure you guys have been hearing about that for years. It was at Central Lafourche High School this year. Those kids get to participate in speaking contests, demonstrations, insect identification, fish identification, horticultural crop judging. They do so many things. So that was a big day for us in our parish. We also hosted the Bayou Area Horse Show. That's a horse show that we have, Lafourche hosts it, but we open it up to the whole state. So we invite horse exhibitors from across the state to come to our parish, and that was also very successful. Additionally, we just got back from 4-H University, which some of you may know as short course at LSU. We brought 29 members, and we came home with over 20 blue ribbons. So that's those little medals. We did very well. We had kids in fishing sports, ATV safety, child development, consumer foods judging. Specifically, we had 2 state champion teams. One of those teams was an outdoor skills team, which is our shooting sports kids. So they do a little event with reading a compass, and they have to shoot archery and shoot a shotgun. So they won state champions. They won a trip to go to San Antonio in November. And then our livestock judging team, they placed first. They were state champions. They're actually going to represent Louisiana at the North American International Livestock Expo in Kentucky in November. So they have a lot of practice to do because it's one of the biggest livestock judging contests. It's a college level contest. So we're so proud of them, but they're going there in November. So that's what we're looking forward to. Girls?
So hello. So as you most probably know, 4-H is a youth development organization that believes in the power of youth, as we say. So the youth are the future, basically. So hi, I'm Layla Zerlot. I'm here to share my spark, which was found in 4-H, and what 4-H has done for me. So this past year, as you can tell, I served on the state executive board as a Southwest regional representative, where I represented our parish and I shared all the endless opportunities 4-H has to offer. I also served a little lower, but this is probably my favorite, was the Lafourche Junior Leaders President. So in 4-H, you learn how to assert confidence and voice your opinions through various 4-H contests, as Ms. Teddy did list a few. 4-H allows youth to build connections and meet new people, and this teaches them how to serve their community. So I plan to become a middle school science teacher, and 4-H has allowed me to practice upon these leadership skills, and this will, I believe, enhance my teaching skills. So I strongly believe that I will be at a better advantage because of what I've learned from 4-H. And from Achievement Day, I did receive a 4-H scholarship, and this will help me to de-stress so I can focus on my studies a little bit more. So I will use all the standards I've learned from 4-H and continue, as our motto, to make the best better. So I encourage all youth to get involved in this club and to ignite their sparks. So thank you very much.
Hi everyone, so my name is Kirsten Oncal, and I'm an 11th grader this year at Thibodeau High School, and I'm here representing the Lafourche Parish 4-H Junior Leaders. So in 4-H, we have a saying, to make the best better. And so I can honestly say that 4-H has done just that for me and many others within our parish. 4-H provides so many opportunities for all of our students within our organization, and to name a few, Miss Teddy pretty much named all of them as she was speaking. And so we have opportunities all the way from competitions to leadership boards. And I can truly say that I wouldn't be able to be standing here in front of you, as poised as I am, talking to all of you if it weren't for 4-H and other extracurricular activities. So 4-H truly makes an impact in all of their students, and I'm the voucher for that, 100%. And so this year, I will be serving on the Louisiana 4-H Fashion Board. And so leadership boards are just one of the opportunities that really stands out and that we push to our parish members. And so these leadership board opportunities allow them to really find their potential with not only in our organization, but in our society as a whole. And so 4-H allows them to really grow to where they can help us in our parish whenever their time comes. And so I have a little saying that I like to say. And down here in Louisiana, especially in Lafourche Parish, we like to cook jambalaya, right? Now, our moms and dads always say, don't touch the pot, it's so hot, don't touch the pot. But what's the first thing that we want to do? Touch the pot, correct. And so the only way that we're going to learn not to touch the pot is if we experience what it truly is. And so that's what 4-H is really about, getting their students involved and giving them that experience that they need to be successful in all of their future endeavors. So I want to thank y'all all tremendously for all of your support that you give to Lafourche Parish 4-H. And so thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Madeline Fossum. I'm 14 years old, and I've been a member of Lafourche Parish 4-H for 4 years now. I'm currently serving as the Lafourche Parish Junior Leader Club as parliamentarian for 2022-2023. During my time in 4-H, I have grown so much as a person, and my skills have improved in almost every area of my life. In 4-H, I participate in public speaking, cookeries, garden contests, and so many more activities. I decided to start my own garden when I was told about the contest 4 years ago from my 4-H agent. I've won first place in my division every year since, and I hope to continue competing in the future. Since then, my gardening skills have improved greatly, and I have even started worm farming. It might sound a little odd, but that's kind of what I'm into. This past year, I tripled the size of my garden while rebuilding some Hurricane Ida damage. This 4-H has really allowed me to grow every year, expanding more and more. So I actually got to experience the entrepreneurship, selling overseas to fundraise to make my garden bigger and better after Hurricane Ida, because that pretty much destroyed it completely. 4-H was always there for me, especially when the pandemic began, and even more so after the storm. Things have been really hard for everyone in our area, especially some of our younger people, and it can be a lot to take in for just a kid. 4-H really helps us with that. So I decided to take the 4-H motto, to make the best better, and I did just that. I was featured in the New Pioneer National Magazine for my garden, as well as my positivity after the storm to rebuild. It can be found at Lowe's. My garden project has allowed me to experiment with meeting with different people and networking, as well as some more entrepreneurship, being able to sell seedlings as well as seeds to help fundraise for my 4-H projects. So with my garden, I can provide fresh produce to my family as well as others in my community. I raised broiler chickens for the first time this year, and 4-H helped me through the entire process. From day-old chicks to dispatching, 4-H was there for me. I went from not knowing how to put on simple leg bands to being the grand champion for this year's South Central District Livestock Show. It was my first ever livestock show, so I was kind of surprised by that. But I'm super proud of how far I've come, and I definitely plan on doing it again in the next few years. 4-H is my passion, and I hope to one day compete at the national level. 4-H gives me something to look forward to all the time. And I love that I'm able to share so many great experiences and make memories with my friends in 4-H. Thank you for your continued support of this program in our schools.
Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Well, that's kind of a question, but I'm going to have to see you about your garden, because this year my garden was a flop.
I need your
tips.
She's really amazing at her garden.
And I have to say, all three of you ladies were so poised and elegant and good.
Impressive. Thank you so much.
To make us very proud.
Yes.
I will attest, I was at the Achievement Day with my son, who for the first time built a birdhouse. At the, life-changing event for a 9-year-old, but he had a blast. It was really well put on. I got to meet plenty of people who were in 4-H, but it was the experience of the whole day. Going to different classes, learning about, like you said, insect identification, fish identification. And I tried to get him to understand as a 9-year-old that FFA, 4-H, and all these organizations are all kind of tied together. And he didn't understand when I was telling him about livestock judgment. I did that in 4-H. And now they're doing it in 4-H, FFA, and they're doing it on a national level, which is very impressive. But it was a great event. I would advise everyone to give it a look. If you have kids in the system, look at it, put them in. Even if they just do a couple of things, it was worth it. But what he got out of it is, I didn't realize we could do so much more. We did the sugar and
Seafood.
Yeah.
We have over 700 dishes for that bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a judge, bad idea. On the sugar side. But it was a great event as well. Every event we went to was great. It was well put on, and well attended by our kids, parents, of course volunteers were everywhere. But it was very well put on. So thank y'all so much for what y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies, you guys are awesome. I could really sit here and listen to you guys all night. But not only is it a test to the program of 4-H, but also to the adults that you guys have working with them. It's obvious that you put a lot of time in to build relationships with them so they feel confident, comfortable, and being able to come to you guys. So thank y'all for all that y'all do, and just keep doing what you guys are doing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say, y'all came before us tonight, and you each told us thank you. I think we owe you the thank you because you're representing Lafourche in such a positive light. And you are the reason why we are here. You're the reason why I signed up to be a board member. We get to do some of the not so fun stuff with budgets and things like that. But just watching you in your wheelhouse and becoming so successful and being the future leaders of our district, I know Lafourche has such a bright future because of you. So thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies, I hate to say this, but just about right at 50 years ago, I was a team that represented Lafourche Parish in short course.
Nice.
And actually we were state champions.
What contest?
Horticultural crop judging.
Nice.
We still have that contest too.
Yep, and we represented Louisiana and Columbus, Ohio. And I will tell you, some of the things I learned in 4-H, I'm still using today in my practice. So it's a great opportunity, it's a great learning experience, and y'all are great representatives of our parish. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I just would like to say thank you for being here and sharing your stories. They're fabulous, and y'all are very impressive speakers. And I look forward to seeing you in the future as leadership in our parish.
Any other comments from the board? Let me just say this, as a breath of fresh air, really, for Ms. Gocho. Thank you for bringing these students. I'm sure their positive presentations will go a long way in encouraging other students to take part in such a good program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one other thing. I just want to mention, our agent was Mr. Dalton Land.
Yes.
Yes.
So, long ago.
Well, in all honesty, when I was a principal at the Rose Middle School, it was Mike,
Mike Abraham.
Is Mike still involved in any way?
He just recently retired, but he's still helping us new people.
He's helping. I figured Mike would have his hand in this.
Mr. Chairman, you really don't want to encourage Mr. Abraham too much.
And his opportunity, right?
Okay, thank you again, and we appreciate it. Let's go on to number 2, the approval of board consent agenda. I'll read all 3 items if you don't mind, and then we'll go. Letter A, approval of board consent agenda items. B, minutes of regular board meeting held June 1st, 2022. C, superintendent's quarterly report for the period April to June 2022. Can I have a motion? Mr. Savitz, and we have a second. Mr. Archer, any board discussion? Any public discussion? Let's vote, please. Okay, with that said, let's go on to number 3, approval of land facility management committee recommendations as per meeting held June 14, 2022. Mr. Blazos, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll be here a while, so here we go. 8, to accept the change order to add 12 additional days to the contract due to inclement weather for the month of May 2022 for the new Thibodeau Middle School project. So moved.
We have a second, Ms. Bourgeois. Any board discussion? Any public discussion? Please vote. Will it be shown on the board or just verbally? All right, unanimous, okay, Mr. Blazon, so let it be.
B, to accept the recommendation from the school naming committee in accordance with policy FDC, naming of school facilities, and private drives or streets, to name the gym court located at the Rose Cutoff Middle School in honor of Mr. Kyle Pelt. So moved.
We have a second. Mr. Schuetz. All right, board discussion. Mr. Lafourche, I believe. Okay. All right, board discussion. Mr. Delphin, would you like to make any type of talk upon this?
Yeah, briefly. We had a request from the school spearheaded by Ms. Celeste Pro and Ms. Sam Gordon, both here tonight. Mr. Pelt had a long career, I believe, a full 33 years of teaching in Lafourche Parish, 32 of which were at LCO Middle School, where he served as a teacher, as the athletic director, and coached every sport that we have in the middle school. He was very successful in terms of wins and losses, but more importantly, he was successful in terms of molding young athletes and student athletes in a very positive way. So unfortunately, he had passed just very shortly after his retirement, but clearly he made a huge impact in that school, and there was an obvious and unanimous decision of the committee to rename the court in his honor.
Could you show briefly, we have a diagram, where would his name be? Or something?
Yeah, so this will be the new basketball court that's hopefully going to be installed early in the fall due to Hurricane Ida damage. In that corner of the court, was chosen because that is where he taught class. That is where he took roll, in that corner. So that was his spot. And as you can see in the red of the sideline, I'm not sure you can really see it, really cool little feature. They actually put his signature in white on the sideline of the court, which is really a nice touch. On the wall in that particular area is also going to be a plaque commemorating and kind of giving a little bit of a background on who Coach Pelt was. They're going to have this ceremony pending your approval at the earliest possible, their first home game, once that court is laid down and fit to play.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. President. Any comments from
Mr. President,
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. LaFourche, support.
Thank you, Mr. Archer. Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, the best thing to say about Mr. Bell, he was a good guy. He was just a good guy. I think he was well appreciated by everyone at that school.
Okay. I think Mr. Archer is you next.
Thank you. In addition, what Mr. LaFourche referred to, Mr. Pelt was a wonderful person, a great teacher, and a great coach. Thank you.
Okay, I had the opportunity to serve on that committee, and it's one of the quickest committees I've ever served on, because everything was in order, and I'm sure Mr. Kyle Pelt was serving the recipient of this honor. Okay, with that said, any other comments by the board? Any comments from the public?
Today's his birthday, so I think it's fitting.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Today is Mr. Pelt's birthday.
What a perfect time, okay. With that said, let us vote, please.
Yeah.
Mr. Blazon, the floor is yours again, sir.
C, to accept a request to advertise for bids when construction documents are complete for all Hurricane Ida repairs.
We have a second, Mr. Butterly. Any board comments? Any comments from the public? Not, please vote. Unanimous vote, and let's go on to letter D, liaisons.
D, to accept the declaration of the property adjacent to Bayou Middle School as surplus property and to request authorization for the sale of the property at a private sale for its appraised value of $136,800 to the Bayou Blue Volunteer Fire Department, with the Bayou Blue Fire Department to pay all costs associated with the transfer. So moved.
Mr. Buttery, a second. Comments from the board, any comments from the public? Let's vote, please. Letter E. Oh, sorry, we haven't got it.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I've also prepared a resolution to go along with that.
Okay.
If you would simply add a motion to approve the resolution that has been prepared by your attorney, this would authorize the sale officially and would also authorize the superintendent to sign all documents associated with it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Do we have a second? Second, Ms. Bourgeois. Any discussion by the board? Any discussion by the public? Thank you, Ms. Amity. Let's vote, please.
All in favor, hand vote?
Hand vote. Unanimous?
It is unanimous.
Thank you. And let's proceed to the next letter, letter E.
Mr. Chairman, just
Mr. Buttery.
incorporate that same motion that we just passed in the next item coming up also, because Mr. Hamidi has prepared a resolution for that one as well, so.
Okay, and the letter E.
All right.
Mr. Liaisons.
E, to accept the declaration of the property located at 20986 Highway 1, Golden Meadow, Louisiana, as surplus property, and to request authorization for the sale of the property for its appraised value, $38,000, to the Homa United Nations. And
Point of order.
Yes.
So we need to make an amendment, so this needs to be first and seconded, put on the floor, an amendment introduced, first and seconded, and then we can work off of the amended. We can't do it on the fresh read.
Okay.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Buttery. All right, now, to be at this particular point, we have to vote, we have to do an amendment. Is that?
Yes, I move that we amend according to Mr. Amity's previous statement, to add the resolution attached to this, so I move to that.
Do we have a second? Ms. Bell, any discussion by the board? Any discussion by the public? Let's have a hand vote on that. We're voting on the amendment at this point, yes. And then we will go back to the original motion as amended.
As amended.
Yes, okay. All those in favor of the amendment? Passed unanimously. Now we will go back to the original motion as amended. Do we have, a motion has already been made, do we have a second? Ms. Bell, any discussion by any members of the board, any members of the public? Yes, we do. We do have members. Yes, we do. I'm sorry. And let's have Mrs. Brenda Dardar as asked to address the board, and followed by Ms. Loran Chastain. And could you give your name and also the address and work from there, please?
Yes, my name is Brenda Darder-Robichaud. I reside at 4416 Highway 1 in Graceland, Louisiana.
Okay, and basically we say this to everyone that speaks in front of the board. Please limit the comments to matters that are strictly related to this particular agenda item, and we each have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Just outside the southern corporate limits of Golden Meadow, a passerby may notice an old worn schoolhouse with rusted flagless flagpole in the front yard, along with an old set of rusted swings and seesaws. But for the Houma people, it is so much more. It is an integral part of our history that tells the story of our struggles to obtain educational opportunities for our people. During the early 1900s, Houma communities across primarily Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes struggled to obtain access to mainstream public education for their children, simply because they were Indian. Houma tribal members such as Henry Billiard and Elvira Billiard, among others, realized that many of the challenges faced by our communities were due to the lack of educational opportunities afforded to our people. Tribal research by Bowman and Curry Roper indicate that there was a man named Henry Adam who came from the north, and he asked this judge, "Why don't you want the Indians in school? If they're sent to schools, they would see better. They would see what was all taken from them. So we have to keep them in the dark because those Indians, they're smart." Over 100 years ago, Houma Indian parents such as Henry Billiard presented petitions or filed lawsuits for their children to attend white public schools. However, both the school boards and the court systems denied them access. The school board argued that they cannot legally be admitted because they were not of the white race, but our ancestors kept fighting. In Golden Meadow, former tribal chairwoman Laura Billiard shares that her grandmother sold a piece of land to the school board in order for the local Houma community to obtain a school. In 1940, the Lafourche Parish School Board finally provided a much-needed two-room building, the old settlement school, on that land for the community's children. Although some Houma children could attend Indian schools after the 1940s, many were restricted to a grade 7 or 8 education and were prohibited from going to white public high schools. Therefore, some students would have to leave their parishes, their state, their families, and the community in order to attend high school. The Houmas would not have full access to white systems of education until the mid-1960s after the Civil Rights Act was passed. During the 1970s, former Houma chairwoman Helen Jindrak lobbied the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Washington for funding to begin an Indian education program in 1974. The outcome of her efforts allowed her and other tribal members to establish the first Indian education program in Louisiana. Over the last 48 years, the tribal community has seen the importance of creating such a powerful program for our youth. For over 3 generations, students have been supported academically and culturally, while parents proudly raise their children in the Indian education program. The community is incredibly grateful for the opportunity to access these services within an education institution. We have come a long way since the Dark Ages when we were denied our education. While we have made great progress, more needs to be done, and that starts with preserving our history, and an important part of that history lies within the walls of the old Indian settlement school. Prior to Hurricane Ida, the old settlement school housed tribal enrollment data and records, as well as tribal employment and rehabilitation services for youth and adults. It was also a museum with historical tribal documents and traditional artifacts that children, families, and tourists could visit for educational purposes. It is a building that our people could come to and connect with their culture. This building, its location, and presence is significant among our Houma people. It symbolizes freedom and equal opportunity, and is a reminder of the fight that our ancestors before us engaged upon for the benefit and well-being of our children.
Very good. Ma'am, for the record, we need for you to give your name and also your address. She didn't check that.
She did.
You did not.
Yes, sir. I'm next.
Thank you, Brenda. Brenda is also our former chief of the United Houma Nation, and we also have another former chief, Ms. Laura Billiard. And my name is Laura Ann Chesson. My address is 2375 Highway 665, Montague, Louisiana 70377, Fort Area. And so I am the current principal chief of the United Houma Nation. And I thank the school board, Mr. Martin and the school board for letting us be able to purchase this building, because this is a significant building for our people. And so we're going to continue using it as an education program. You know, we gave Mr. Martin some ideas on some of the things that we want to do. There's tourism and education, Indian education there. and summer camps. We want to make sure that this building is thriving. So we want to thank y'all for allowing us to be able to purchase this. And it's been a long time coming because we started off with Miss Laura and then Brenda, and, you know, and a couple of chiefs between us. So we appreciate that. And I think it's important that Brenda told the story today because a lot of people do not know the history of our tribal people in education for Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. So thank y'all for your time.
And I know Ms. Brenda. And many years ago, I had the opportunity to teach adult education at that particular site. So I'm very familiar with that site. And thank you, Ms. Doyle, and I've seen you again, and Ms. Chasson, I appreciate it. Any questions by any members of the board?
Well, thanks for coming and telling us the story. It's wonderful, and I'm sharing with the superintendent earlier. My grandmother graduated from as a teacher in 1922 in Texas, and she spent the first 10 years of her 42-year teaching career at the Indian School in Texas near Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was great. And then she got her master's in the early 50s, and her dissertation was on her experience at the Indian School. So it's really interesting to read through that. Thanks.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
Thank you.
So
Okay, Ms. Blazon, letter F. I'm sorry, we have to go. Might get that out the way.
Point of order, when it's amended, it probably needs to be a hand vote, is that correct?
She has the,
She has it, no. And vote. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. All right, let's go on to letter F. Mr. Taylor.
Congratulations. Yeah. To authorize entering into a intergovernmental agreement with Lafourche Parish Fire District Number 3 for the use of the immovable property behind Golden Meadow Middle School adjacent to Louisiana Highway 3235 to erect a temporary tent-like building for the storage of a fire engine, fire rescue vehicle, and heaters during the duration of the 24-month agreement. So moved.
We have a second. Mr. LaFleur, any boards discussion? Any public discussion? That said, let's go please. Unanimous. Ms. Blazon, letter D.
G, to authorize through a resolution of the school board the transfer of the right-of-way from Chevron Pipeline Company to Rosefield Pipeline Company LLC for the pipeline right-of-way located on the West Pouchon section 16, Township 23, South, Range 22 East. So moved.
Mrs. Kakita, second. Any comments on the board? No, any comments by the let's vote. Okay, unanimous. Letter H, sir.
H, to accept the low bid in the amount of $41,260 from Randolph Shipyard LLC for Hurricane Ida bus canopy repair project at South LaRose Elementary School. So moved.
Do we have a J, sir?
J, to reject all bids received for the Hurricane Ida roof replacement project at Lafourche Middle School and Raceland Middle School. So moved.
Do we have a second? Mr. Dufresne, Board comments? Yes, sir, Dr. Dion.
So I would like to, have a better understanding to what, so with the previous, letter and this letter, with us rejecting that, what is the plan going forward? Obviously, those bids are, way out the ballpark from what was, predicted.
You have to reconstitute the work you're asking the contractors to do in order to get a better price. So rather than go for 2 schools, we'll go for 6 schools, maybe the scope of the work being much larger, we'll get a better price per dollar for the roof. As an example, the one you're rejecting right now, we have projected cost of $350,000. We got one bid of $990,000. So rather than just accept it, we're gonna restructure what we're asking and hopefully get a better price.
Does that satisfy your answer?
Certainly.
Yeah, that's a little thing. Just to kind of add on to it, thank you, Mr. President. Some of these rejected bids that we're looking at were one bid, a single bid. And so, like you said, $350,000, the bid came back at $1.2 million. That doesn't fall in the same ballpark. So the easiest way that we, all concluded, if we add more work into the school where we combo the construction with the roof, maybe the construction guys, their companies could get their roofing company to combo up with them and get a better deal for us. It's a better deal for them. They get more work out of it. And like you said, you might end up with 2 or 3, 5, 6 schools at one time. But it was way out of budget. It came down.
Any other comments? All right, can I say this? In the public? Can I say this? All right, it's unanimous. Let's go on to letter K.
Okay. To accept the low bid in the amount of $583,200 from Pisciola Construction for the Hurricane Ida repair project at Lafourche High School football stadium. So
We have a second. Mr. Archer, comments from the board, comments from the public, not Ms. Hope. Unanimous. Letter L.
to accept the low bid in the amount of $1,404,650. Cotton Commercial USA Incorporated, pending insurance approval by Lafourche Parish for the Hurricane Ida roof repairs at Pupil Appraisal Center, Thibodeau Elementary School, Thibodeau High School, and West Thibodeau Middle School. So
We have a second. Which one? Comments from the board? Comments from the public? Let's vote, please. Okay, unanimous. Letter M. Ms. Blazemus.
M, to reject all bids received for the Hurricane Ida roof repairs and replacement project at Lockwood Upper Elementary and Graceland Upper Elementary. So
Do we have a second? Adam, comments by the board? By the public? Let's vote. M, sir?
to accept their request to reject bids received for the Hurricane Ida roof repair and Professional Learning Center and Central Sites. So
Do we have a second? Repeat. Any comments by the board? Any comments from the public? Let's vote. sure. There it is. All right. Wrap it up, Mr. Blazon.
Oh.
Take a deep breath. Here you go. Let her go.
To accept the change order request for South Lafourche High School Hurricane Ida re-roofing and exterior renovation project in the amount of $511,135 for the additional cost for a builder's risk policy. So moved.
Do we have a second? Mr. Booker, almost gave me a job. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Let's vote. And it's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Blazon. We appreciate that. Let's go to number 4, the approval of finance committee recommendations of the meeting held June 14th, 2022. Mr. Woodward.
Item A, to award Vault Health, the only responsive and responsible bidder, the contract for district drug testing services. So moved.
Second, Dr. Diak. Any comments by the board? Public? Let's go. Let's go to letter D.
Item B, to approve entering into a 3-year renewal agreement with Premier Filing Systems, DBA Mobiz, for district records retention services. So moved.
Second, please. Mr. Blazon, any comments from the board? Comments from the public? Let's go. And it's unanimous. Letter C, Mr. Woodward.
To approve entering into a 3-year renewal agreement with AAR Electronics for 2-way radio rental and maintenance. So moved.
Second, please. Bourgeois, comments from the board, comments from the public. Let's vote, please.